Oh man.
I still haven't
And we should
seen.
be live.
I still haven't seen like past like the first half of season 4.
Season 4 ends really strong, and then they took like 3 years to make the next season. And I haven't caught up on 5 yet.
Season 2 is still the best in my books.
Which one was that one?
That was the one that opens with that music montage after they die.
After Cocoon.
Oh, yeah.
God.
Is that the scene where they find out is that the season they find out they're clones?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
I thought that was I thought that was late in 3. They found out they were clones.
I think it's stretched across both.
I think they let it out of the bag that they were clones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The viewer
Dr.
finds out that
Dr.
they're clones.
But Dr. Orpheus is like, what?
Yeah, that whole episode is just phenomenal.
Is that the one with that computer mom? Or is that season 3?
That's season 3.
Okay.
Where the little guy is
Yeah.
down.
That episode is so weird.
There's so many great episodes.
That
The whole
show
show
is,
is weird.
God, that show is so good.
And Hunter is hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I miss my big tits.
God. Oh, that show.
And I love that they foreshadowed that in season 1.
Yeah. Oh, man. Have you ever listened to any of the director's commentaries on the DVDs?
No.
You
I
really
will.
should, because it's basically the two of them hanging out in their apartment in the middle of New York, just in the middle of the day with all the windows open. So every once in a while, there's just like an ambulance that goes by.
Awesome.
And they're just like, ambulance, and then they shut down for a couple of seconds.
So it's like recording the show.
Basically, yeah.
Sans the ice cream truck.
Speaking of recording, I gotta open Pamela. Yeah, man, I don't have like a good ice cream truck around here for this show.
Hey, that's a niche market. Let's take it.
It's true. Well, there are plenty of ice cream vendors, so they have a little cart and they have a little bell on them,
Nice.
but not the
Oh,
trucks.
we should do a gelato truck.
Oh man, if only. There's a really good gelato store near me anyway, so it's a pretty entrenched business.
So
I'm
now,
not vegan?
now, Giant Eagle has evolved into its Whole Foods competition called the Market District.
Oh god.
Giant Eagle Market District.
Okay.
The its store is really cool for whatchamacallit.
I mean,
for,
as somebody who has a restricted diet, I can't really complain, but I feel like there's a lot of navel gazing when it goes on with that.
oh yeah, it's set up like a Whole Foods.
Yeah.
Like it's exactly like it. And then there's the bakery section is like the back. Remember how the meat like used to have like the butcher in the back? Well, there's the butcher sections like this, and the bakery ice cream dessert section is like literally the entire back wall.
It's like the whole aisle of things I can't eat anymore.
And then there's a little kiosk, made in Ohio, made in Ohio, made in Ohio. Like, fucking A, put it away.
I gotta buy all this delicious stuff.
Writing that down as a title.
Yeah. This podcast, made in Ohio.
But I love buying cheese. Oh, I got a problem.
You bastard.
And it doesn't agree with me at all.
Just
Like,
eat cheese for me.
I ate cheese last week until I was sick.
Yeah. Sounds like a good cheese lover.
Indeed.
Until I can't cram any more in my hole. So I made buffalo chicken dip.
That stuff's good.
I made buffalo. I bought a whole chicken. So I get the rotisserie chicken. I let it get to room temperature. Then I just peel all the shit off of it. Like,
Just get elbow deep in that thing.
Skin, bones. Get all the meat in a big pile and dice it up really small.
Yeah.
I take my brick of cream cheese. Throw that. Put all my spices, like the ranch dressing powder and
Your secret spices.
some red pepper flakes, salt and pepper, 2 pads of butter because you gotta have butter.
Yeah.
So throw that in the microwave, get that all chopped up. Then I put the Frank's Red Hot, the crumble blue cheese in it.
Yeah.
So I make enough, when you get those to go, like say you get like egg drop soup from it's like in those,
Yeah.
it's in those really thin.
The soup cups.
Well, yeah, and those clear, like containers.
Yeah.
they're always like they're like pint size, like you would get from if you get antipasta or something from a deli.
Yeah.
It's those same style. So I load one up and I'm like, you know what? I'm hungry, so I just grab a bag of Fritos. I'm just sitting going to town on it, and I have like probably about a softball size
Okay.
left. And I went downstairs, went to the bathroom, and I get up and I go back, sit back down. And I'm like, oh no, did I just knock this thing over getting up?
Oh no.
So I go look over. So it's like my chair's right next to the couch. It was just teetering on that edge. And so I go down there and I see the bowl is face up. I'm like, oh, okay. So I pick it up and I look down and see if there's any mess. I'm like, wait. And the bowl is like licked clean.
Oh no.
Oh man.
Oh no. Oh, that's gonna be a real bad time.
So I'm like, what? And it didn't dawn on me that the fucking dogs got at it. So I'm sitting there like, did I really just eat all of this? Like,
And I licked it clean.
This was like a quarter of a chicken. Like,
I like how you doubt
Buffalo...
yourself before you doubt the dogs.
So there,
it's a good way to be, though.
Yeah.
There, I see Boomer off to the side, just sitting there looking at me, and there's Samson just licking his chops, like he's got like shit stuck in his teeth.
And you're just like, wait a minute.
I was like, did you? And he doesn't make eye contact anymore.
I don't know what you're talking about.
What?
That bastard was so gassy the rest of the night.
Put him outside. No, it's too cold. Put him in the basement.
Chain him to the wall.
Yeah.
Get out of here. You know what you did.
Yeah. Oh.
And there was his little head in the ottoman, like, what?
Yeah, I didn't.
I
It was so
hate
good.
Poor Cooper he got a rawhide and he ate it too fast. He doesn't. Well, he doesn't make noise when he throws up. It just happens, and he always does it on the bed.
Great.
And so I walk in there. It was probably about 2-3 hours ago. I walk in there and it's just puddle on the bed. I'm just like,
He just wants to make sure. He just wants to make sure you can find it.
Yeah.
And he's laying right next to it. It's like, dude, that stinks. Why are you still there?
I did this. Yay.
Like, leave the scene of the crime, man.
Yeah.
Boomer does that every once in a while. Like they'll get into like a stuffed animal or something, and then like it's this long chain of like puke covered like cotton fluff.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like I'm like, you idiots.
Luckily, he doesn't eat the fluff on purpose. Like he'll tear apart a toy and like get some on accident, but he won't eat the fluff.
Huh.
Which is good because
these guys love digital copy code sheets.
well, who doesn't?
Why wouldn't they?
I don't know what it is. Like, I don't know how many times I've come home and there's one shredded in the middle of the floor. I'm like, I'm really happy I redeemed that.
Nice.
All right, you gents ready to start? You got your Whatchman plan?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Alrighty, let's get started in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to another episode of That Video Game Podcast. I'm your host, Boston. Going around the room, we have Knobs.
What's up?
And we have the Hannah.
Hey.
Oh, I could totally do creeper lighting.
I could too. Hold on.
Is it... I don't think I can do that, unfortunately.
Oh, that's a shame.
Well, welcome to TVGP After Dark.
You look like
Welcome to
you look like the
Creepcast.
stereotypical, like if Law and Order was gonna show like a hacker scene.
Dun, dun, dun.
Stupid natural light behind me is ruining my effect.
Yeah, we gotta do the show later. Anywho,
Yes.
with that out of the way,
I still got
Knobs,
that giant box blocking the window.
what have you been playing?
Hey, well, I've been playing some video games this week. Well, you know, we had our community game nights, Monday night, Friday night, yada, yada, yada. Fun times. Join us because we were on real late Friday night. Ended up going for a while.
It's the best start to your weekend.
Yeah, it worked all right. It was kind of a tumultuous week, but that was, you know, a good capstone, good venting, and get everything out. And I'd like to thank Donnie for calling me to hang out Saturday. I had a lot of fun doing nothing.
Nice.
It's always
Anyway, and he made a big point to say he was going to call. I'll call you tomorrow. We'll hang out. Like, all right. Wait, 6 o'clock. It was real fun hanging out, buddy. Oh, I'm such a chick. Anyway, but no, join us. Have fun. It's an absolute riot every time. We're always laughing and having a good time.
Yeah.
And it's never at someone's expense. It's always just something. Why are you licking my hands? Join us, dude. There's no way to describe how off the rails sometimes that conversation gets, and it's always in the best ways possible.
It really is.
I played a significant amount of DOA 5 this week.
Hey.
Very nice.
I was pounding my way through the command training. And thankfully now it saves your progress.
Yes.
Fancy.
So it actually gives you a percentage of how far you've completed each character too.
Even better. Boy, we've
Nice.
only been asking for that since DOA 2, 3 maybe.
But now that point of doing that is completely moot because pretty much you're only doing it to learn some combos. Dude, what?
You taste good, man.
No, it's just in my lap. Leave me alone, dog. Anyway, the whole point of doing that is like to unlock system voices or whatever, because you can have the overall voice of the game change to one of the characters or something goofy.
Oh, that's cool.
But now apparently there was a problem with the corrupted saves, and now there's a not a hack but a cheat code. If you go to the helps and options tab, open it up and hit all 4 shoulder buttons at the same time, it unlocks all the costumes and all the system voices.
Yeah, someone actually wrote an email this week telling us that.
So and now I don't have to suffer through trying to unlock all these costumes. I love it.
Yeah,
very cool.
I love it. So now I have all that stuff, and now I'm not stuck with Christmas DOA anymore.
Yeah, and the only thing for anybody listening, the only thing it doesn't unlock is the 2 new characters in this version. So
right,
but you should probably be playing them anyway because they're brand new.
Right, but anyway, so it's a good time. Like I'm really enjoy playing this game. So I streamed a few times this week. I think I was getting rolled by 7 on one time, and then again today he was lighting us up pretty good. Tom Gamer and myself. And I wish I was streaming the time prior when we were playing because I was having a meltdown. Like in a fashion that only I can, where I was so upset with the game itself. Like I wasn't playing very well too on top of it. But I'm not gonna say I fight like a gentleman, but most of the time I'm not gonna hit you when you're sitting on the ground.
Yeah.
And every time I attempt it, I always come up with nothing but air.
Yeah.
And just get obliterated. So and 7 hits it like every time. Like every time.
He's a surgeon, man.
And it's like stupid amounts of distance. Like almost like the full arena across. He finds a way to do his like up down attack, and he just like guy like unrealistically, not saying it needs to be realistic, but within reason to be able to jump and land on me.
Right.
And he's just like, hey, he's a ninja. And then he was doing it with non-ninja characters. I was like, she's not a ninja, but she knows kung fu. And then I'm like, and I was going on a tirade over this stuff, and he was doing it to me today, and I was like, he's not a ninja. So I was getting so mad. I was just so angry. But I don't know. I still love playing that game, and we streamed a bunch of it today. And
where can you find those streams?
It's JNob33 on Twitch.
All right.
I don't know how to save them, so catch it live. It's the only thing
Oh no.
The only thing I could say, if I'm follow me, if I'm broadcasting, I guess you get a notification because I don't know how that works either. I just, Xbox, Snap Twitch, name it something weird and go. Usually I put a date on it.
I don't know how this works. I'm just broadcasting on the internet.
Well, even though I put DOA LR for Dead or Alive last round, and I'm looking at it, I was like, man, it looks like Ebonics dollar. The way it looks like up on the screen. I'm like, ugh.
It's the first time I think I've heard the word Ebonics in about 10 years.
Yep. Oh no, I've heard it recently. Me and my wife just started watching Boston Public again.
Oh.
So it looks like dollar spelled like really weird. Like if it was someone's first name, like dollar. Right. So it's weird. But man, that game is really good.
I'll have to pick that up at some point.
The new characters, and I mean, I got stuck with today. I started off like 0 for 7. I just could not get my footing because I got virtual fighter characters, namely Sarah, 5 times in a row.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like, in the same, well, no, it wasn't the same outfit every time. 2 times it was the same Hayate versus Sarah in the same outfit twice. Like,
boy, that's some Guilty Gear random there.
Statistically impossible odds for this to happen.
Random.
Yeah.
Pseudo-random.
Right, there you go.
But yeah, so, man, and I just, like, we play 3 best of 5 instead of best of 3, so you have to win 3 rounds.
Right.
So usually it makes the largest health bars and yada yada whatever, just so we have these long fights.
Standard tournament rules.
Yes. So, man, like, I'll have like a good round, and then it's just literally like I forget how to play the game.
Yep.
With Sarah, like, there's times where I'm doing combos and like, oh man, I'm amazing, and then I suck.
Fighting games.
Yep.
So anyway, I a little bit of bout of insomnia last night. So I decide, like, I watched a whole bunch of movies. Zero Theorem is weird, which led me into, well, I'm in a weird mood, so I'm gonna play Halo.
Ooh. Naturally.
So I started playing Halo last night and just kind of kept going through, and I'm like, all right. And then today I'm like, you know what? I keep suffering through Halo 1 here. So I put up the stream, Halo Hell, and then apparently I messed up logging into the game. I started, like, I got an intro. I'm like, what? I don't know what am I doing? I can't even get out of this. So I'm like hitting the back button or whatever, the double squares thing, and just trying to like fast forward through all this conversation. Like, Keith David, I don't care what your snappy jaw has to say right now. So I just like keep like, come on, and then I stop. And I'm like, how do they eat? Like, I'm trying to figure out like this.
Now you're asking a really good question.
It's
I've never
because
thought
it's
about
not
it
a
that
bifurcated jaw. It's like quadricated. Like, it just opens in 4 different directions, and there's no bottom piece. Like, and it's all teeth in.
Maybe there's some sort of upside down liquid diet.
Like I don't know. Do they gotta take all their meals like a beer bong, just shove it in there? And
this is the most fun alien race.
I'm like, I don't know.
Not a lot of hard cheeses.
Whatever. So anyway, I had that mental conversation going on as I'm struggling trying to go through this. I should have vocalized that because it was really weird.
Yeah.
And my brain meets.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I finally get back out and try to resume where I was, and I was already, I'm like 2 checkpoints back. I'm like, come on. All right. So I'm playing through it, and I am the most morose person playing Halo. Like, it's downright. I think Tom Gamer summed it up best as he was watching it. I was downright glib. Like,
just the world's unhappiest and straightforward about it.
Just here's a very unsatisfying death again.
Oh, fantastic! It seems that I have.
Great. Here's another stupid death. Number
John
4.
187 has seemed to pass again. Fantastic.
Here we go. Turn the corner. Oh no! Visible sword guy got me. Oh.
Well, that'll happen about 5 more times.
Yeah.
Watch for that.
Well, balls. And then I had one viewer sitting there. He's commenting, and I had my tablet out, and I'm trying to text or respond to in-game or messages on Xbox. So I have my lap is covered in technology. So I have this playing. I'm streaming it. I got Twitch open, and the chat popped out like on here, so I can see what's going on. It doesn't register who's watching on here. Then I'm getting messages through Xbox One, so I have my phone open trying to respond, and I have the headset on and a controller in my lap. I'm like, this. If this is a shot of the future, I don't know what is.
Video games 20 years from now.
I mean, I am awful at Halo.
That's just not your thing, man.
Like, I'm just getting more and more angry as I'm playing. So, and I get to the point, I get all the end guy, and then the general dude that I just rescued from the Covenant ship or whatever I was on, he dies as I'm walking through the room. I'm like, what? Oh, great! I could do this all over again.
Great.
Here's a sniper rifle. Hit Invisible Guy 1. Hit Invisible Guy 2. Hit Elite 2 or whatever. Like I was like, oh my gosh. And yeah, you run out of ammo a lot in that game.
Yeah.
And there isn't a health pack in sight. Why do I have a health bar if I can't find health? Like, what? I'm like, cause I'm going through these corridors all look the same. I'm like, man, I am so lost. And I would turn around. I was like, thanks. What? Like I'm like struggling as it is. It's like incision, insert salt. Like it's.
What I think you need in Halo is just one of those racing game wrong way signs, which is like bing, bing.
Yeah,
bing.
like I need a circle with the X,
Yeah.
and it says, "You dumbass." Like
wrong way.
Just maybe like a fist just punches me in the face like every time I take a wrong turn.
You just really need that line from the
Dead Space. I need an
Dead
idiot line.
Space. Yeah, you need the idiot line.
You need the idiot line.
But yeah, so I'm clicking in and I'm like, wait, oh yeah, that's not this game. And I'm sitting there like, so I'm running through the Covenant ship, and I'm like, I'm talking to myself. So I'm sitting there running through. I was like, oh man, here I am. I've been on 1 bar of health the entire time I've been in this thing. I'm like, hey, well, I guess it's weird that there isn't a med kit up here. I wonder if that's by design, like alien ship designs. Well, we're not going to give them any chance.
Yeah,
none at all. There's going to be nothing that's got a red cross on it anywhere in this shit.
Oh God, Halo.
Oh. So anyway, I want to say one thing. I am a fan of grenades in that game.
Oh yeah.
I cannot have enough grenades.
Yeah.
And because everything else you're shooting is like shooting Nerf pellets. Like there's nothing does any significant damage. Like anytime I try to, like I'm sitting there, like I'm so used to playing Battlefield, like aim down sights, aim down sights, aim down sights. So I left trigger, grenade, shoot, grenade, shoot, grenade.
And it works almost as well, I bet.
Yeah.
Oh.
The other Jay-Z in chat says there were probably medkits, but they were all probably for fixing mandibles or for something. You know, they did need those medkits. They have this messed up grill going on.
Yeah.
So, going back to that, maybe that's what their medkit is. It's their solidified jaw so they can eat.
There you go. A medkit a meal.
Here's your metacarpal like attachment for your jaw meats.
Yeah.
But it's I don't know,
Halo.
I'm going to continue suffering through this because I've said it in public. I'm going to finish this entire anniversary collection at some point. And
I love that you're still playing that, and it is easily the most broken Halo release that has ever seen publication.
Yep. Absolutely.
And this is the one I throw my hat into the ring on. Like,
thank goodness. You're just having the most pure experience.
So that's gonna be a thing, and if I remember, I'm always going to stream it. So just hop in. I'm gonna try and interact as much as possible through as many devices as possible.
Watch a man sink into the depths of depression.
So and why are those big brute dudes always come in pairs? Like they're a pain in the ass to fight anyway.
They get lonely, man.
But yeah, like
it's a buddy system.
Spawn 2, and like so I'm circle strafing the one, I'm peppering him with grenades, and my assault rifle apparently does nothing but bounce bullets back in my direction.
It is a assault rifle. You're saying that wrong.
Ah, right.
Yeah, there you go.
Now it makes sense.
Just
shoot him in the mandibles.
And and my beanbag shotgun doesn't do a thing.
Yeah, you shoot him in the mandibles, you bring up the taste multiplier.
Yeah,
come on. Have you never played Halo?
Someone shot salt in my mouth.
Well, with that much salt, this game should be more palatable.
Heyo.
So, whatever.
If this is your first episode of TVGP, we don't like Halo.
They don't like Halo. I have mixed feelings about Halo.
That's fair.
Well, I don't know. I can't bring the hate mail because I'll destroy it.
Yeah.
This game is not good.
Yeah.
Not good. Let alone this version of it's the worst.
Yeah.
And I played through it the right way on PC, and it was awful.
Yeah.
Because I'm tired. Like, and I'm running through. I'm like, can I just step out of this milkshake for like 2 seconds and run?
Nope.
Like, it's
in Halo 3, yes.
We'll see.
One of the other ones.
We'll see if I make it that far.
Yeah.
So it's my commitment to get through all these. Is 4 on this disc too? Because I don't even know.
I don't know. That's a no. That came out on 360, right? Didn't
both Halo 3 and Halo 4 came out on 360?
You're asking the wrong dude.
I think Halo 4 is on there.
Well, we have the internet in front of us. We should be able to fact check this pretty quickly.
You're talking about another show that fact check stuff.
All right. Well, now that my segment's over, Hannah, how have you been doing?
Yeah.
I've been doing pretty okay. I played a few things this week. I played a little bit of Risk of Rain the last couple of days.
Yeah.
Because that's been sitting installed on my Steam list, and every time I see it, I'm like, I should play more of that.
It's so good.
And yesterday I was like, I don't want to play anything. Oh, let's play some Risk of Rain. God, that game's good.
Yeah, it is. It needs to come out on Vita.
It really needs to come out on Vita. Yesterday.
I think the developers finally did an update where they're like, yeah, we're still working on it.
Yeah, that's pretty much all we've heard the whole time.
Yeah,
we're still working on it.
It's like the N++ development updates.
Oh, yeah, right. So that definitely needs to come out on Vita because, man,
it's a perfect fit.
It really is. It's got that little bite-sized, like, playability factor to it, where you can just play it and play it and play it over and over again. It's like Splunky for side-scrolling shooters.
Yep.
Just
my favorite thing about that game is when you make it near the end, and if you have a really good loadout by the end, you're just like death incarnate. It's amazing.
The amount of power you have is unreal, and I still haven't beaten it. I've gotten maybe to like the 3rd level.
Oh, okay.
I think I've made it a total of like 15% through the game.
Yeah. The horrible thing about the ending of that game, right?
No.
All right. So once you complete whatever it is, like 3 or 4 of the levels, and you go to the teleporter, it will give you an option to go to the ending of the game or hit the button that you usually hit to go to the next level, which will send you to another level.
Okay.
So once you finish like 3 or 4 levels, just when you go to the teleporter, just look at what it says and make sure you pick the option to go to the end of the game.
Okay, that's good to know.
It'll be an extra button. I think it's like if you're using a 360 pad, I think you hit Y to keep going through levels, or you hit like B to go to the end of the game.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, I don't know why they did that. Like, I get it, because you want to, if you want to power yourself up more, you can keep running through the levels, even though it's going to get even harder. But it's badly laid out.
I could see a point where you would want to be like, okay, I've made it through like the first 3 or 4 levels in less than 10 minutes. It's still on like easy or medium.
Yeah.
Let's go get some more power-ups.
Sure, yeah. If you have like this miraculously lucky run and you're like, I'm doing okay. All right, let's keep doing this.
If you really want to roll those dice, you can do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had a really solid run yesterday where I got to like the 3rd level, and I had like electricity like around me. I had 2 drones for me.
Yeah.
I had a double jump. I had a slightly higher jump.
Nice.
I was walking around, and the thing that got me was just too many enemies at once.
Yeah.
I got dogpiled on and just completely destroyed.
Ugh.
But man, that needs to come out for Vita, and B, go buy it for PC. Like, if you just put it on your Steam wish list, and if it goes to like $5, pick it up. Just no brainer at that point.
It's a little weird with 360 controllers because it's made in Game Maker Studio, so keep a mouse around.
It's a little better now. You don't actually have to keep a mouse around anymore.
Oh, nice. Okay.
They've updated it to where, so it's not perfect. It's not like, full-on menus. You have to actually use your thumbstick and guide the mouse with it.
Well, that's something.
But it's better than what it was. It used to be you had to use the mouse to like pick your levels and stuff.
Yeah.
And you don't have to do that anymore.
That game is
really cool. Yeah. I played a little bit more Luminous Electronic Symphony on Vita. I passed out while playing it. I think I capped out at like 500,000. I like fell asleep like this, just like. So.
Oh, I am totally stuck in Grim Fandango right now.
Oh,
I need to get a fac.
Oh yeah.
I'm so stuck.
Nice. I played.
Come on.
I played something a little new this week. It was just a demo, but it's a demo for a game I've been wanting to play for a while. The Talos Principle.
Yes, I can. That's supposed to come out on PS4, and I am waiting for it to come out on PS4.
Yeah, that's why I didn't buy it yet, because I heard about the PS4 thing, but I wanted to try it.
Yeah.
Because I've heard nothing but good about it, and I wanted to see it for myself, because people were comparing it to Portal.
Yeah.
And anytime you compare something to Portal, I have to kind of go, okay, yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. Okay, that sounds good.
Well, you just can't trust it. So
Yeah.
it's this really strange, very philosophical first-person puzzle game. That's the only way I can really describe it.
Made by the guys who made Serious Sam.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah, that's why there's a giant pyramid level. Yeah, no, it's
well, they do pyramids real good.
They do, and it's this crazy thing because I saw it. I watch every quick look that Giant Bomb does because sometimes there's some that they do where even they are sort of like, wow, this game is pretty okay, like Hand of Fate, where they're like, wow, this actually isn't terrible. I thought it would be. And Talos Principle, while they were playing it, I'm like, I need to play this game. It is a first person puzzle game, a lot like Portal, but with like way more stuff and this oddly interesting story that they're kind of feeding you.
Yeah, it's this sort of like neo-futuristic religious sort of story, which is right up my alley.
Yep.
That plays like right into my wheelhouse of like weird stuff.
Yep.
I had a lot of fun. You only played like the first 3 puzzles to get into like the first like major level. But the way they handle puzzles in this game is phenomenal. You have to you finish an actual like puzzle and you get a tetramino, and you use the tetraminos as pieces to unlock certain things inside of puzzles or to gain access to new puzzles.
Yeah.
So you'll finish a puzzle, you get all the tetraminos you need, and you'll go up to this like it's basically a keypad, and what you have to do is like click and drag the tetraminos and rotate them and
you get like a 5x5
square.
grid, and you have to make them all fit together.
The grid varies depending on the difficulty of it and how many tetraminos you have.
Right.
And there's a companion game to this called the Sigils of Elohim, which is just that part of the game. It's just like configuring tetraminos into a square.
Huh.
And like now that I've seen, like I want to write a program that just does that for me, because I feel like that'd be a really interesting programming exercise.
Yeah.
Like fit these shapes into a square for me.
Yeah.
Plus, free cheats.
Yeah. Put some Google ads on that thing, you're good.
Yeah. So that's really cool. I'm gonna dig in a little bit more, try and find out when that's supposed to come out for PS4, because I'm getting that when it comes out for PS4. But if it's a long way off, I might just buy it for PC and then pick it up twice.
Yeah, I've been waiting. I don't really have an opportunity to play games on my PC lately. PS4 is kind of the only thing that I can play on at the moment. Last I looked, they were planning on coming out with it, I think, in the first half of this year.
Oh, okay.
So I don't think it's like a 2017 sort of thing. It's the thing. I looked at their development blog, I think it was before Christmas, and their answer was like, "Okay, we finished the PC one. This is what we're working on now."
Okay, well, that's good to know. I might just hold off on it for a while then.
Yeah.
But the last thing I played this week, actually, we played this week, Boston, a bunch of Destiny.
Yeah, we're trying to get some peeps together to do some of the weekly stuff.
Yeah, and it went surprisingly well.
Yeah. It's a good time.
It was definitely a good time. I was surprised at how quickly it went, actually.
Yeah.
It was sort of like, we're not dying repeatedly? This is cool.
This is crazy. We're communicating, and this is kind of fun. All right.
That's so weird.
Games with friends.
Yeah. It's the best.
It's the sort of thing where, like, you can get through this stuff by just doing randoms or just getting some sort of group together that you found online. But when we can actually go through it and be like, we brought in we just got a random person for Pug for the weekly heroic mission, and then for the Nightfall we brought in Hot Sauce Steve, who is apparently like this super Destiny expert. He's
the Winston Wolfe of Destiny.
Sure, whatever that is.
Is he here? Is he Destiny's lowercase n?
Yes, he is. And he just he's like, okay, go over here. This is a good spot. Oh, do you guys know a spot in here? No. Okay, well, go do this stuff. And just had like all the great raid weapons and armor, and he's just like kind of not really sleeping through the thing, but was happy to kind of Sherpa us through it.
Yeah.
So kudos to him. That was
thank you very much.
Much appreciated.
But yeah, that was a ton of fun. Just hopping online, getting the weekly done, and getting some cool stuff out of it. I don't think I got much of anything other than some engrams, but
yeah.
You ended up with like what, 10 strange coins or something?
Something like that, 10 or 12, something like that.
Yeah.
Which I wholeheartedly used this time to get Heart of the Praxic Fire.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But that's pretty much all I played this week.
I had a really crap week at work, and put in a ton of overtime this week, so I didn't really play a lot. I played a little bit more Destiny, other than that, and I tried to play as much Hand of Fate as I possibly could. That game is starting to get meaner now that I'm unlocking more encounter cards, which I kind of like, because there are a lot of encounter cards you get at the beginning where they're kind of like, oh, you go into this inn and there's this weird looking guy, what do you want to do? And kind of everything you can do is positive. But I'm getting into encounter cards now where they're not always positive, or even if you try to do the right thing, you're going to get 4 cards and 3 of them might be failures and 1 might be a success. So it's kind of this FTL sort of situation where it's like, you know, the famous FTL thing where it's like, giant spiders are out down on the planet, do you want to go? And it's like, oh, that usually doesn't really turn out very well. But maybe I'll get something out of it? Nope, giant spiders kill me. Okay.
Yeah.
You know, it's that same sort of thing where it's like, you know, you run into a fairy and she wants, you know, gold, food, or you can leave. And you're like, I don't know. Because if I give her something, it might turn kind of nasty. And I just... Man, that game is so good. Everybody should I really, really wish they had a demo for that game. I don't think they did.
Same here. No, they don't. I checked.
So everybody should go watch the Giant Bomb Quick Look. It's a really good explanation of it. The demo could be really easy for that game because it could just be like the first card and like the tutorial. I feel like if people had a chance to play that game, they would really, really like it. And I think it's like $15 or $20, so it's you know, on the upper end of downloadable game pricing, but man, there seems to be a lot of stuff in there, and it's so good. And I did get a chance to start The Order 1886.
Nice.
Okay.
I have played probably about a half an hour.
Are you bored to tears?
What's that?
Are you bored to tears?
No, the intro is that is an action-packed thrill ride. Of one cutscene after another. The game, man. So, you know, I'm kind of having a problem because I haven't had a chance to play more of it. So I don't really want to judge it by the intro, but it does. There's one thing that I kind of get frustrated in games where the beginning and the tutorial section, you're hurt, you're injured, so you're moving kind of slowly, and there's like the, you know, for like the first half an hour as he's like bleeding and scrabbling. It's like I want the abilities, you know, I want to be 100% strength, and I want to have all the cool stuff, and then I want you to take that away, and then I go to the actual game itself. But
yeah,
it's kind of the opposite where they do set up a lot of cool story stuff at the beginning. So, number one, the game is beautiful. I mean, they have succeeded at making a game that you would want to show the PS4 off with. The black bars are an issue at the beginning, just because, like The Evil Within, you're just sort of like, that's okay. We're just losing this real estate. But voice acting is outstanding. The facial animation is incredible. Like, it's one of those games where you look at it and you're like, right, 8th gen, cool. Like, all right, this is what we're doing. You know, it's 1080p. The frame rate is solid, and it's like when Gears came out on the 360, and you're like, oh, okay, gotcha. 7th gen, 360.
Yeah.
All right, like it's one of those games you can show people and say like, this is how this stuff looks, and they go, oh, okay, I might have to get me one of those. The controls seem fine. They seem a little bit weird with how you're doing some of the QTE stuff, but I'm not going to judge that stuff quite yet. Story seems interesting. It's kind of, you know, not really a spoiler, but at the beginning it's sort of like, hey, you know the Knights of the Round Table? What if they were kind of immortal? How's that sound?
Only kind of?
Yeah.
Just a little bit of just a little peppering of immortal.
Yeah, just
Un
a taste.
poquito.
Yeah. So I don't want to judge it too much. It seems fun. There's a lot of there are some issues at the beginning with figuring out where the game wants me to go. But I think that's just trying to get used to what the game is trying to do with its cinematic look thing.
Yeah.
There's no real the biggest problem at the beginning of the game, and I know it's a big problem that my wife had, was where do you want me to go? Like, you just left me in like an alley in the middle of London. Where am I supposed to go? Like, I don't want to poke around this place for too long. It needed a little bit of help there, but you know, that might clear itself up a little bit. And I don't know, I'm interested to play more of it, because it's by all accounts a fairly short experience as that goes. And I'm trying to kind of compare it to Gears of War, because I feel like, especially after seeing it, I feel like those two games are trying to do the same sort of thing, and I'm curious to see which game is more successful at this kind of cinematic stuff. Because even when you got to Gears 3, I think Gears 3 was the one where he wakes up in the jail cell and has a whole dream craziness at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Even though they tried to go for something that's a little bit more cinematic than Gears 1 and 2 were, you can still play and you can still shoot stuff. So you're still kind of knee-deep in whatever is happening. And I'm curious to see how the Order kind of balances that stuff. And I'm hoping that even if I don't enjoy the Order by the end of it, you know, there's a lot of yang being talked about the Order online. I'd still kind of like to see, because Gears 1 was fine, but Gears 2 was so much better, and Gears 3 I feel like was really great.
Yeah.
I would like to see if we get another Order, do they make such a leap like Gears 1 and Gears 2 did? Because Gears 1 had a lot of problems.
It did, yeah.
You know, and especially when you went to Gears 2 and you're like, oh, all right. Well, now they just fixed all of it. Okay, cool.
Well, my only issue, and this is not really an issue with the Order, this is more an issue with the way games have gone sort of in general and the distribution channels have gone. I want to rent the Order. I really do. I want to rent that game and knock it out in a weekend. I can't. Right. Unless I want to pay $15 for a GameFly subscription and get like 2 games a month, because they still only have like a couple of distribution centers and none of them are near me.
Yeah.
I can't rent this game. I can't get this game for a reasonable price temporarily.
Yeah.
And just play it. It's a perfect rental game from what I've heard.
I think I still have my GameFly subscription.
Oh my god.
Do you still have Alpha Protocol from it? Because you should.
No, it's probably Transformers.
No, it's Fist of the North Star.
The $500 copy of Fist of the North Star.
Oh, I know. Stop yelling at me.
Yeah, but like, and that's the problem too. Is I feel like if people want to spend $60 on the Order, that's fine. If you get enough enjoyment out of the Order for whatever you put into it for $60, that's fine. Mm-hmm. But you bring up a great point that, you know, we have no avenue to rent this game anymore. Mm-hmm. And some people you can go to Redbox and rent it, but most people you can't.
Yeah.
Or it doesn't, like in your case, they don't have PS4 games, because why not? Things only been out for a year.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the hardest things too, because there are so many games that we could probably easily recommend as a rent, because either you blow through it in a weekend and kind of send it back, or maybe it's not worth the asking price quite yet, or we could say, well, if it's $20 on sale during Christmas, pick it up, or if not, toss a couple bucks at it for a rental. But we can't. And if you go and purchase it from PSN, it's $60. So
I think that's a big problem with the way digital distribution is.
Yeah.
That should not be the same price as a retail copy.
No.
If they really want that to go off the ground, that should at least be reduced by 20%.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't, digital distribution is going to be such a struggle for this generation, more so than anything else. Because, for a lot of times, brand new games you can go in and get your PlayStation Plus discount for like the first week or so, but sometimes that's like 10%, which, sure, that game is now $55. Okay.
Yeah, great. Thanks.
I'm not really. Why wouldn't I just get a physical copy then? In that case, and save my hard drive space.
Well, it's the same thing that they do with movies anymore. Because the way I see it is the digital copies are free. If you buy a new release, you get 2 copies of that movie. Right. Whichever way you want to split it, because they still want $15 for a digital copy of a day one release.
Yeah, that's. Yeah, I'm gonna be curious to see. The other Jay-Z in chat says, the old issues with retailers, but at some point we have to figure out how to get around that. And I think when you look at it, places like Sony and Microsoft are probably PlayStation and Microsoft are probably a lot less. Every year that passes, they're probably a lot less concerned about GameStop. Oh. Cooper wants to do distribution.
He really wants,
Yeah, he wants to play the order, man.
He's losing his poops out there.
That's probably less of an issue for them, but I'm sure they're more concerned about places like Amazon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of dog stuff going on right now.
Yes,
so, that's all I've been playing, so let's take a break.
What the fuck is that dog doing? I'll be right back.
Let me sing you the song of my people.
Yeah. Cooper!
Well, it's bad enough I had Boomer fish-eyeing me the entire time we were up here.
I just like when he's up in your face with his mouth on your mouth, just sitting there.
Oh, he isn't licking or anything, he just kind of
He just boop.
And then all of a sudden I get one of those little big nose breaths, up my nose. I'm like...
Dogs, man. Oh, boy. Okay.
How's your pup doing?
It's okay. She's an 8-year-old Basset. She's set in her ways, and you can't break her of any of that now. That's the unfortunate thing about having a Basset is they are smart and they are willful.
Yeah.
So, her previous owners had done a lot of work to train her, but at some point they just say, nope, I'm good. It's who I am. So, she's, and she has very serious separation anxiety, which I feel badly about. So, there can be all 3 people in this house, and you will go into the garage to go do laundry, and you close that door, and as soon as you close that door, she will start whining. And if you're in there for more than a couple minutes, she will start howling.
Oh.
And you can open the door, and she's just like, "Hi." It's just like, what do you want?
Yeah, well, these 2 aren't too... these guys are fine if no one else is here.
Yeah, just like you and the dogs.
The second there is another person in the house, it is like bananas.
Yeah.
And heaven forbid you bring another dog over here and it turns into the house of sin. It's... Oh my gosh.
They just need a little bit of love, Knobs. They just need a little bit of love.
Oh. Nice I'm not sitting here watching Gay Loving all day.
Yeah.
Dogs, not dogs.
Yeah. Just throw out the Seinfeld. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Holy cow. All right, have you seen Gone Girl yet?
Not yet.
Oh.
I'm very excited to see it. My wife read the book, and she's like, I don't know if I want to watch it.
Well, yeah, it doesn't paint a very pretty picture of women.
Well, it also, she calls it, the book, her review on the book was horrible people being horrible to each other.
Oh, dude, they're awful.
Yeah. So I like Fincher. The soundtrack, of course, I'm a big fan of. I like all the actors in it. I just haven't had the time to get around to it.
Well, no, I mean, there were parts, that's the thing, like, I'm not going to say I'm a huge Affleck fan, but I've always enjoyed pretty much every movie he's ever done.
I think he's a good actor. I think people like to give him a lot of shit, but without real reason. I
understand that too. But the man, like you go from like he's the lovable dude to like, man, I hate this guy. And
I hate like all of these people.
And then like halfway through and you figure out what happened, you're like, I love him again. And then at the end it was like, you all suck.
This is the bomb and Phantoms, though.
Yeah, he was. Affleck was the bomb and Phantoms. I'm gonna watch that now. I haven't seen that movie in years. Maybe it'll get me off of this whatchamacallit, this They Live kick. I've watched that movie a lot lately.
That's weird. It's just like a warm blanket.
It's so fun, though. I love Keith David.
Man, who doesn't, really?
How does Keith David happen? How does Keith David ever happen? I love that.
Touche.
Like, it's like the best joke ever in a game.
I just like that it's breaking down the fourth wall, but never really acknowledging it.
Yeah.
This game has Keith David in it as Keith David.
That's one of my favorite parts of that game is you run around with Gat, like catching up, like over old times, and he's like, "Hey, how'd you guys get Keith David?" It's like, how did Keith David ever happen?
Yeah.
You ask him, he said yes.
Man.
All right.
So good.
I hurt my back helping someone out of the snow on Monday.
Really? That's why you don't help anybody, man.
I got this knot in the back of my backs. Oof. My back meats.
Get deltoids the dogs to start walking on you.
Screaming. Yeah, they didn't care less. They would lay on the couch and stare at me while I'm writhing in agony. Having fun down there, huh? Yeah, roll around floors. What we do.
Yeah, it's fun for us.
That's my game.
It's my thing, son.
That's my game. A ball tapping. Oh, that was a fun episode. Oh, we lost ourselves at Getty Powers. I feel it down in my plums.
I said no. Let the boy watch. No. What was his wife's name? Sharon?
Oh, something with it, like Linda? Some real good hillbilly name.
I said no.
It's the shape of BMW. That makes me love my wife.
Feel down my plums.
I'm too down.
I love the outtakes in that episode with just the two of them looking at each other and Will Ferrell in the background, and that just, oh my god, it's Craig Robinson in that, right?
I think so.
It's just him, just like, don't break, don't break, don't break. I said no, let the boy watch. He has to learn. Oh god.
That's sort of my favorite thing. And so anyway, this kid is stuck. Like, I'm on my way to work, and the only reason why I helped him is because he was holding up traffic. So I pull down the street, and we're on like a side street in Cleveland, which hasn't been plowed since like ever. Like, the only snow attention it gets is the sun and melting. So there's this guy who pulled off into the bank and stuck in it. Mm-hmm. And there's a special kid that lives on the street, so the short bus comes rolling up and down it.
Yeah.
And so here he is revving his engine like nonstop, and I'm like, oh. So I'm stopped because I see the bus coming. I figure the bus is going to go around, but she's nervous. He's going to get traction and jump out in front of him. So I'm sitting there. I'm like, just watching my truck.
I just read the quote here.
Oh.
Can you feel the tension? I can. I can feel it down in my plums. Getting a nice bluish hue. Getting ready to take them down to the farmer's market.
Oh, I wonder how
that character's name is Ashley Schaefer.
Schaefer BMW.
Anywho.
So anyway, so I'm sitting there, and like, there's this in this bus, and like I look up and we kind of catch eyes with me and the bus driver. I'm like, and I just kind of do one of these obligatory sighs, like, oh.
It's like, now I got it.
So I hop out, kick the door open, go back to bed in my truck, and I have like a bunch of construction debris back there. I have a big chunk of asphalt, it's about this big, about that long, and about a couple inches thick. So I go back in there, I grab a piece of asphalt, and I go and try to kick it under this kid's tire, and I totally whiff. I heel right, slid right past it, and I catch myself on the hood of his car, and I felt like my back is through this little kink. I'm like,
and you're like, oh no.
So now I'm late, and my back really hurts. So then I finally get a good boot underneath it and wedge underneath it. I'm like, all right, just slowly accelerate up, and you should pop up and out. So then, like, the kid goes like real close, creeps up on it, and like shoots out and gone. Didn't stop. Didn't say thank you.
Didn't even like wave.
No, just boom, and he's out. Like he's like making like the midnight walk of shame, like out of this house. And then I look down at the ground, and I look up at the bus driver, just like, just give me a round of applause. And I go,
like you do.
It's the last time I help any human beings.
Yes.
Goes through, and I knew I was hurt. I knew it was hurt, but it didn't bug me the rest of the day. Till the next day, I had to sit the whole day. I'm like answering, yes, can I help you? Like just using the least amount of effort I could. I should probably open show notes now.
Probably.
That dog's a maniac. So he freaked out because I have a neighbor way down the way. We live in like townhouses, condos here. So there's 4 units to a building. One of my neighbors.
Did you get through the quad?
A couple units down, he's got a dog, and I can never remember the name of the owner and the name of the dog because it's either a guy named Bob who owns a dog named Pete, or a guy named Pete who owns a dog named Bob, and I cannot for the life of me remember
Bob
which.
Peach.
That sucks. Hey, look, it's Bob and Pete. What's up?
Yeah.
What's up, guys?
Can I scratch your ears, Bob?
The dog is a Mastiff Black Lab mix. He's a therapy dog. And this guy had monstrous back issues, so it need to be a dog big enough to like get him out of bed, literally lift him out of bed.
Right.
Tell me he's got a keg.
Oh no! I wish, man. Oh, that'd be awesome.
You need to buy him one. Make it like safety orange.
But this dog is like it's a Mastiff Black Lab. It's huge, and Cooper's 13 pounds.
Right.
Does the kid ride around the neighborhood wrestling Doritos away from people?
No,
not even sure what. Anywho,
but Cooper has Napoleon complex because he's tiny.
Right.
So he has to be the biggest, most fiercest, even if he's totally not.
Yeah,
and
he's the size of one of that dog's paws.
Yes. So every time he sees that dog, he flips his shit. So, of course, he's out for a walk, and he's hanging out up on the back of the couch, sunning himself. Mm-hmm. And Cooper's just like, hey, what are you doing here?
It's like Brian yelling at the squirrel.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Squirrel! You suck!
Oh, Cooper.
Well, it's like these two. Anytime anyone walks in front of my house, game on, man.
Anywhere near the front of your house,
they want a piece of it.
Yeah. Oh man. Okay, I'm ready whenever you gents are.
Yes, I am ready as well.
All right.
All right, you guys ready?
Yep.
I'll kill you.
All right, ready in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back, everybody. We got releases this week for March 2nd. Hey, 2014.
You're a monster.
This week comes out Scream Ride.
Yep.
Sorry, I kind of put a little alliteration on it. For the 360 and XBO.
Seems to be some sort of roller coaster game, and the info I can find online is, hey, it's a roller coaster game.
Right.
So, there you go. I think it's first person. I don't know.
Yeah, it's something. Maybe it's like those kiosks in the mall. You know what I'm talking about. They got the stupid ride machine in them.
Oh, God.
Does it connect, like, blast, like, wind in your face? Like,
like that one jet ski game in the arcades?
Yeah.
The name of it.
Yeah, like,
Arctic Thunder.
What just happened?
Yeah.
Did I just get my pupils tested, or what is this?
Some dude behind a screen just spitting on you.
Yeah. It's spitting out, shooting dilating juice in your face.
Yeah.
Like, pickle juice. Anyway, Resident Evil Revelations 2, Episode 2 for the PS4.
Coming out hot.
Coming at you.
That game, that first episode, has a lot of stuff. Has like a fully featured online multiplayer thing. It's crazy.
You know, that's what Resident Evil was missing.
Yeah. $6 a pop for each one of those, by the way. Cheap.
Ali Ali 2. Welcome to Hollywood.
Yeah.
For the PS4.
Yeah. Don't worry, Knobs. This is the game that has something in it called the Trictionary. Trictionary.
I would rather drink this spitter than listen to that.
Please don't do that. It's not worth it. Life is for the living, Knobs. Nope. Gonna throw up.
Oh, doing more product placement for paninis.
Oh, hello. Delicious.
La Maluna X for the PS Vita.
Yeah, I thought this was also coming out for the PS4. I'm a little bummed it's not.
I wish it was an EA-ish. La Lamuna.
Eh? You want to play that?
Mario vs. Donkey Kong. Tippin' Stars. That's a cool name.
Yeah.
For the thirds and Wii U.
I really wish they would go back to the not super crazy puzzle game like that very first one on the GBA was. All these other ones are fine, but man, that game was so good.
Did you see that test footage for what they were talking about? What was crazy games that didn't end up being the game? Like Pikmin was supposed to be this crazy Mario game where they're just rolling Mario around. Like
I saw that cracked article. That Mario 128 thing was a tech demo. It wasn't meant to ever be a game. That was a lot of misleading stuff.
To be fair, yeah,
I got really angry about that when I read it.
Sorry, I'm just gonna sit in the corner.
Well, to be fair, Nintendo people would ask Nintendo about Mario 128, and they're like, "Yeah, we're still working on that." It's like, you're not.
No, you're not. You never were.
What would that be? The Mario 2486 or something now? Like
yeah,
no, I think it's like Mario
24 i7.
Mario 1080p.
Yeah,
like. No, knowing them, it'll be 1080i.
Mario 12 cores with hyperthreading.
Yeah.
Right,
Mario GPU.
Moving
2012.
on to news stories. Yacht Club Games has finally announced the release date for Shovel Knight on PS4, PS Vita, and PS3.
That's exciting.
It's coming out on April 21st. It's only $13.50 for the very first week for PlayStation Plus members, $15 afterwards. It's a steal at twice the price. Yep. Go buy it.
I'm looking forward to playing this on a Vita.
I've been looking forward to this.
I'm looking forward to playing it again because that game is outstanding.
Now I have to finish Grim Fandango so I can reuse my memory card because that is what it's filled with.
Great.
Nice.
Great. Anybody that's listening to the show should play Shovel Knight. It's outstanding. Yes. You can't go wrong. New Fable game, Fable Legends, will be free to play when it comes out on Xbox One and PC later this year.
Is this the one that was like you're a dungeon master and there's 4 people going through your dungeon?
I believe so.
Okay, that actually makes sense for this then.
Yeah, and they're saying, Lionhead is saying, you'll be able to play from the beginning to end without spending a penny.
Okay.
Great. So it seems like a lot of what they're doing is cosmetic stuff. For money, which is fine.
I could even see them going the full-on D&D model. Here's your base game. Here's your, player's handbook and core rulebook.
Right.
And if you want a monster manual type add-on, that's $5 to $15. If you want, a single adventure that tacks on
like a standalone campaign,
standalone module, like another.
That'd be a great one. Those
that'd be amazing.
The modules. That'd be a great system for it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
free idea. Take it.
Yeah, that one's free too. Hey, I'm curious to see how that turns out because I feel like there's a right way to do. I feel like there's a right way to do free to play on consoles, and I feel like they haven't figured it out yet. Nope. And hopefully they will figure it out, so it won't be. So free to play won't be a 4-letter word like it is on mobile.
Yeah. Well, I was really excited for Fable Legends. At first, like when I first saw that trailer, I was like, "Oh, 4-player Fable." And then when they were like, "Oh, by the way, there's a dude up here doing stuff," I was like, "Yeah,
and you're like,
I'm all the way in. I'm all the way behind that concept."
Yeah,
that'd be really cool if it had like Xbox Smart Glass support, and your whole interface is Smart Glass.
Yeah, I'd be curious to see if
for the Dungeon Master.
I'd be surprised if it wasn't.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully, but
is Molyneux involved?
No, he's
I don't think he's not at Lionhead anymore.
No,
okay.
I don't think he's at 22 cans anymore after last week.
Who knows, man?
Yeah. All right, next news story: Xbox Live Games with Gold, March 2015. Listen up, all 3 games are outstanding. Xbox One, Rayman Legends, buy it. It has Rayman Origins in it. 2 games for a price of 1, which happens to be free. Get that game; it's amazing. And play if you play Rayman Legends, by the way, play all the way up until the first musical level. Then you won't be able to stop.
Yeah.
So that's on Xbox One. Both games for the 2 games for 360 this month. The beginning half of the month is Tomb Raider, the 2013 one. Go play it; it's amazing. And the second half is BioShock Infinite. I really liked it. If you haven't played it yet, play it for free. It's divisive,
cool.
But who cares? It's free. And then Major Nelson, Larry Herb for Microsoft, also announced that April, since I believe it's the 1-year anniversary of the Xbox One, there will be double the number of games coming out for Games with Gold.
Ooh.
So check that out.
Yeah, keep an eye.
Yeah, they're free either way. So now you get double the free stuff. Can't go wrong.
Might have to renew my Xbox Live then.
Yeah. Next news story. Next news story, and the most important news story of 2015 and probably the entire decade, is that there's a Kickstarter to bring ToeJam and Earl back.
There is.
I'm just gonna let that simmer here for a minute.
Give it a minute.
They need $400,000 for this next game. After a couple days, they have raised, at the time of this recording, almost half.
Yeah.
If you look at the screenshots and you're thinking, "Oh man, that looks pretty terrible," you'd be right. You need to watch the video.
Yes.
So, do that because it looks pretty cool in motion. It's this very cool pre-alpha like paper cut sort of style.
Yeah.
For ToeJam and Earl nerds like me, it's nice to see them basically remaking ToeJam and Earl 1, except you can see through the level to the previous level.
Oh, that's cool.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Well, I won't throw my hat in the ring because I don't want to be the Black Hammer. This didn't happen.
I appreciate that.
Thank you.
The thing that I think is interesting is how upfront Greg Johnson is being. So it's not Mark Forsanger and Greg Johnson, basically the two people that made ToeJam and Earl 1. It's just Greg Johnson. Mark is off doing something else.
Okay.
So it's one of the 2 dudes that made it, and they want to make... They have not kind things to say about ToeJam and Earl 2 or 3. And they... Interestingly, there's a really good Polygon article where they... Phil Kohler interviews Mark Johnson. And basically the conversation comes up of like, hey, what happened with 2 and 3? And there's really interesting history. If you're curious about why bad games come out, you should read that article.
Yeah.
Because he is not afraid to say why those games turned out pretty poorly.
Yeah.
The other interesting thing, too, is that he's being really honest to say, like, look, we need this much money to make this game, and we're going to take 2 years to do it.
Yeah.
We're going to ship your physical stuff in November of this year, and then we're going to take the time to make this game right. And we're going to put it on PC, and we're going to talk to the platform holders to put it out on those platforms. And if we do that, we will get funding from somewhere else other than the Kickstarter to do that.
Cool. Looking at these physical rewards that they have, I have to donate at least a minimum of $250.
I'm actually thinking of the $250 level because
yeah,
let's throw this down for our listeners. You get vinyl figures of Toe Jam Earl and the spaceship.
Yes,
you get
6-inch figure of the spaceship.
They're pretty big.
Yeah.
You get a T-shirt. You get a poster. You get a hoodie. You get some in-game special stuff, which whatever, I don't care. You get the game. I don't know if that's fine.
A mug.
A mug. Yeah. Like I don't have any Toe Jam and Earl collectibles because they didn't make them. They made one soundtrack for Toe Jam and Earl 2, and I don't have that because they made like 50 copies.
Yeah.
So, oh god,
it's so good.
I need it, and I don't have money right now because our kitchen is not here, so we have to spend money doing that. So, terrible time, guys.
Come on, guys. You got 25 days, man.
I do, yeah. I'm going to start saving my pennies for Toe Jam and Earl. And the thing, too, is like with Amplitude, I want to put my money where my mouth is to say, this is one of my favorite franchises.
Yes.
I need to support the development on this. Because that's what Kickstarter is supposed to be about, at least for video games. It's either, look at this cool new thing that no one's doing, and hey, it's 2 people in their basement trying to make this game, or hey, we want to bring this game back, but no one will pay for it, like Toe Jam and Earl. So why don't you guys pay for it? And I will.
I will.
Yes, happily. All right. Next news story here. Hey guys, remember that rumor we talked about last week where it's like, hey, Rock Band might come back. Wouldn't that be super cool? Well, now the rumor is, hey, Guitar Hero is going to be shown at E3 and it's going to be out this year. Come on.
Why wouldn't it be?
Man. So the interesting thing is, the rumor coming out of Kotaku is that new Guitar Hero game for PS4 and Xbox One could be announced at E3 and then coming out this year, but with a more realistic style than kind of the cartoony style that Guitar Hero kind of had throughout its entire lifespan. Yeah. I'd be curious to see what that could be, because even when you look at Rock Band, they sort of landed with a more realistic style than Guitar Hero was going for, but it was still kind of cartoony. You know, it was still sort of... It wasn't ultra realistic. It wasn't real people up there.
No.
So.
Well, I mean, I'm excited. I love the Guitar Hero and Rock Band games, and I think they're going to strike at just the right time here, right in the lull between... you know, the new generation picking up, and everyone has already sort of forgotten about the last generation of these music games.
Yep.
So I think they're in a good spot for both of these games, but I would really prefer to see Harmonix hit the ground running with it first, because I think they have a better, not necessarily a better way of getting songs and things like that, but I think they have a better rapport and like a more professionalism to them with getting and keeping licenses to music than Activision. Right. I think Harmonix is by far a lot better versed in the music industry than Activision is.
Right. Well, and you know, when you compare the 3 Rock Band games we got versus the Guitar Hero games we got, Harmonix never really, at least outwardly, seemed to want to milk it. You know, they wanted to turn Rock Band into a platform to sell DLC fairly unabashedly, which, fine. I mean, be honest about it.
Oh, absolutely. That's one of the few games where you can just go, here's a ton of DLC, guys, and no one's going to complain.
Well, and because they were fair about the core product they were making. Yes. You know, Rock Band 3 is, in my mind, one of the best rhythm games that has ever been made. You know, to me, it's Frequency and it's Rock Band 3, because that core game is solid. So when three songs come out that week for $3 a pop, you're like, okay,
Yeah,
cool.
That seems fine. Seems
I
reasonable.
like one of those. I will buy it.
Yeah, I will spend a couple of bucks on it.
Mm-hmm.
It would be nice to see. I would really like to see Activision come out with a platform for Guitar Hero. Because I feel like near the end they were trying to do that legitimately. And you can carry DLC between games, and they were doing the DLC export thing as well. And I feel like they were getting really close. It's just they had dug themselves such a hole, sort of with seemingly everybody.
Yeah.
That a new Rock Band game was going to come out. And it could have been the best. It could have been better than Rock Band 3, and everyone like, yeah, okay. Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe you. Activision. Okay.
Oh, but man, that Guitar Hero Metallica was so good.
Yeah.
Oh, that was so good.
Yeah. And do more stuff like that. Like, I'm sure there are plenty of bands that would sell enough copies in that framework.
Rock Band Slayer.
Yeah.
I mean, we got Rock Band Green Day.
Yep.
I think a lot of bands could probably sell that.
We also got Guitar Hero Aerosmith, to be fair.
True. That's fair. And AC/DC.
Welcome to Guitar Hero Skinner.
Yeah.
Nothing but that would be Guitar Hero Freebird.
That's true. Oh man. Yeah, so, E3 is going to be really interesting this year. We've had the consoles out for a while. The developers, publishers, and console makers are probably going to be downplaying the 7th gen. It'll probably be a lot of press releases where it's like, oh, it's also coming out for 360.
For some reason.
But, a lot of... This is probably the first year where we're going to start hopefully seeing some hot stuff for these consoles.
Yeah.
And maybe the Division.
I'm excited.
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
Oh, man. And the last news story we have here, Telltale is doing something else again. They have partnered up with Lionsgate to do an episodic hybrid where it's this kind of game and TV show thing that they're going to do.
That's the weirdest news I've heard all week.
It's also like, Telltale, just pump the brakes for like 2 minutes. Like, you were going to do Game of Thrones? I get it. That was going to sell a ton of copies. I still don't have a second episode of Tales from the Borderlands. It's been a while.
Yeah.
So, the other Jay-Z says it worked great for Defiance. It did. To be fair, that worked out really well for Defiance, but Telltale kind of has a lot of it on its plate right now.
Yeah.
So,
do you think they're going to pull a Grin?
I don't know. Grin moved really fast. Grin seemed to move much faster than Telltale did. And Grin didn't have the successes that Telltale did.
I mean, they had one out the gate, and then it was...
Yeah. I mean, when you look at... They put out Wanted, and they put out... Bionic Commando, and both of those flopped.
Yeah.
So...
Well, and then they started off with that retro refit of Bionic Commando Rearm, which was stellar.
Yeah. I don't remember if it sold very well. I got the impression it sold okay for that game, but they didn't have their Walking Dead season 1.
No.
Where everybody was playing, and it was the top of everybody's, top 10 list that year.
God, I want to go play Rearmed now. I just want to hear that music again.
Yeah. I just, it's the sort of thing where from the outside looking in, you have to get concerned about Telltale, because there hasn't been, they're not the most communicative about their release plans, and are there 30 people working there, or are there 300? You don't even really know, because you almost think that they have to know that there's a lot of concern. When you look at... So there was a rumor this week that Life is Strange Episode 2 had been delayed. And the next day, Square Enix came out and they're like, no, we're good. Still coming out in March. You guys are good. Like, thanks for your concern, but we're fine. Like, that's... where's that news story about Tales of the Borderlands? Like, my wife was asking about it because she finished that first episode. She's like, when is this coming out? I said, well, what Telltale does is they'll say the week before it comes out, hey, episode 2 is coming out next week. And that's all we get. So...
That's not a great way to handle that, though.
No, it really isn't. So, I don't know. Grumble.
Rebel.
It's just concern.
Yes.
Those... Left 4 Dead Season 1 was really good. I'm enjoying Tales from the Borderlands. they can put out really good stuff. They just be a little bit more transparent when it comes to episodic stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So. All right, let's move on to emails.
Emails.
First email here is from Kevin F. Kevin from Cincinnati here. Oh, hello.
Hey, what's up?
Hey.
Been listening for the last 2 or 3 years, and I'm glad I found your show. It's clean, non-filler, and directly to the point. I enjoy it, and it's free, so thank you. You're welcome. This show is free to play.
Yes, it is.
The best kind. Also, I'm glad that Hannah played that copy of Sonic and All-Stars Racing I got him for PC. It's a marvelous game. I wish everyone could experience it. If I was a billionaire, I'd buy everyone a copy. The other GZ says, Left 4 Dead Season 1? I must have said Left 4 Dead Season 1 instead of The Walking Dead Season 1. But
I'd play that, too.
Yeah, you want to make an episodic adventure Left 4 Dead where I could play as Zoe? Great.
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
Those are really good characters.
Yeah. Left 4 Dead 1 and 2 are still really good games.
Yes, they are.
Everybody. And for Mr. Knobs, he explains the unlock for Dead or Alive 5. So for anybody that wasn't watching or listening, it's just all four of the top buttons in help and options menu.
In help and options, yep.
Yep. He says, P.S. I think it's crappy you can't use arcade sticks on the Xbox One version as of right now. Patch could be live by the time you read this, and I'm not sure who is to blame. I reached out to Team Ninja and was told that Microsoft never sent them the SDKs for the sticks, and Microsoft had them for the Xbox One since before launch, because the sticks work fine for Killer Instinct. So did Microsoft intentionally leave the SDK out? Who knows? For now, I have to use my Titan 1 converter just to use the Xbox One stick on my Xbox One. And then like a sideways upset face. Sorry so long, hope this info helps. You know, I like to think, as someone who works in the industry, it's probably one of those things, and everybody has dealt with this before, where it's, you know, you're going to email this dude to get the SDK, and he's out of the office for 2 months.
Yes,
and you go and email his contact in his out of office message, and that mailbox doesn't exist anymore. And you're calling, and you can't get in touch with anybody. And this game's got to ship, but you don't have the SDK. I'm sorry, that doesn't get in there.
That sounds like the situation. That sounds like somebody at Team Ninja doesn't have the right contact, or thinks they have the right contact, and they're just not getting the response they expect.
Yep.
I would care less about the sticks. Fix the netcode.
Yeah.
Like, granted, like, I get upset, but you know that I realize I'm playing with a dude in Germany.
That game's got its fair share of problems, surprisingly.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, next email is from the other Jay-Z, friend of the show.
Yeah.
It says, afternoon, fellas. Oh, hello.
What's up? Hello.
So I was working my way through Season 3 of House of Cards, and there's an episode where Frank Underwood, played by Kevin Spacey for those who don't know, is playing Monument Valley. This gives him an idea for a plot point I won't spoil, and thus he's later talking to another character about it and says something along the lines of, I usually play shoot-'em-ups, but this is an indie game that grabbed my attention. Let's get this out of the way. It's a little weird to hear the guy who starred in the last Call of Duty refer to FPSs as shoot-'em-ups, but I can live with that. Most people are going to call those games shoot-'em-ups, but I agree that's a little weird.
That is a little strange, but like given the age of that character and his position in society, it's like, all right, yeah, that makes sense for the character.
Also, Ric Flair doesn't remember he was in a Red Alert game, so you might.
Oh my gosh!
You might give him a lot of. Yeah. Someone asked him recently if he remembers anything about that Red Alert game he was in. He goes, "I don't remember being in a video game." So. Maybe he doesn't know what he was motion capping for Call of Duty.
That's possible.
My question is this. Do you think indie games have gotten to the point where... So, actually, hold on. The other Jay-Z says, I'd like to see a one-time donation option on the site, as now I think it's only monthly. A while ago, PayPal changed their policies, and I legally can no longer do a one-time donation. I'm sorry. You can't do that unless you're actually physically selling something, and we don't. The show is free to play, so I can't have you pay for the show.
Buzzwords.
So even $1 a month helps. Yay! Thank you. My question is this. Do you gents think indie games have gotten to the point where the average gamer or even civilian is cognizant enough of them to where that's a term that no longer needs explained, or did we just get a writer who wants to work gaming into the series? They've already shown in previous seasons that Frank Underwood is a guy who likes playing FPSs online, and character has also confirmed himself as having interest in becoming a part of the Vita Viking Club, so there's clearly a trend here. Thanks as always. I don't think that's a term that is John Q, Street Fighter fan, knows what that means.
Yeah.
But I think when you show someone playing a game on a phone or a tablet, they go, oh, yeah, okay, cool. And then you tell them it's an indie game, and they go, shut up, I don't care. What?
Yeah.
It's
Like,
a game.
Yeah,
whatever.
you're talking to me while I'm playing my games. Quiet. You know, like
it's just a game.
Yeah, and
that's how people view indie games. They're just lo-fi games.
Yeah, and I feel like if you were to go and you were to talk to people, like normal, regular people, and you'd be like, "Oh, this is this cool indie band," they'd be like, "What? Shut up! I don't care." Or like, "This movie was only shot by 5 people." Great, it's a good movie. Shut up.
Yeah.
You know, like I feel like the gaming industry and fans surrounding the industry are way more interested in genres than nearly any other human being.
Except for metal fans.
That is the most accurate thing I've heard in a while. It's Icelandic groove metal, not thrash metal. God, guys. Come on.
It is Norwegian death metal.
Yeah.
What you're listening to is the new wave of American black metal.
Right.
Okay? Just get it right.
It's different from Reykjavik. Like, please.
You guys suck.
But you know that's true. So, like, I think if you, whoever wrote that into House of Cards, I feel it should be commended for keeping it accurate. I have not watched House of Cards, so I don't know generally how accurate that show is. Sounds like fairly. But, you know, good on them for tossing in something without being like, and indie games are made by, and just, you
just
know.
CSIing it.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you know, like, this person was a gamer. Oh, you mean they play video games? You know, like, they didn't do that. They're just like, yeah, it's an indie game.
For shame!
Yeah. You know, it's just good on them for tossing that in there and then not beating a dead horse.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to tweets.
Tweets?
Justin T-Bomb Wood.
I really thought you were going to say Bieber at some point.
Justin Bieber writes in and says, "Hey guys, I like those video games."
Hey girl.
Hey girl. This is your meme show.
What?
He likes memes too. He says, "Great show this week. Anyone on the show picking up a new 3DS? Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate and Majora's Mask 3D look and play great on it." Oh, I really do. Like, I really, really, really do. Because I like new hardware and I'm a dork. And I've never played Majora's Mask before. And everything I've been seeing on this is the version to play. Because they've kind of stripped out some of the BS on it and put a save system in it. So,
ooh, fancy.
That sounds okay. And I like new Nintendo hardware. I can't help myself. I shouldn't buy it. I shouldn't buy it, and I shouldn't feed this beast, and I can't. And we need to stop the cycle and stop spending it. But next week I'll probably have one.
What happens when you feed the monkeys, man?
Then I have a house full of monkeys, and they look cool, though.
Yeah.
Man.
A buddy of mine picked up the new 3DS, and it is slick, but watching him struggle to take the back off of that thing to get the SD card out, I was like, no.
I probably won't do that.
Yeah.
I will probably, if anything, I will wirelessly transfer my saves.
Yeah.
And that's about it. I don't really download games on my 3DS. Like, I'm kind of... I should be okay. Right, guys? Right?
No.
Probably. Maybe.
But here's the other thing.
Know.
I can't buy Nintendo hardware on Amazon. So where do I buy things now? Tell me. Where do I go to buy things?
Nintendo.uk.
Great. I'll do it.
I don't know.
That's the thing where I'm like, I wanted to go look for it the other day, and I went to Amazon, and I forgot. Oh, right. Nintendo and Amazon have some sort of pissing match where they won't talk about it, and they won't sell the stuff. And now I don't know where to buy things.
Great. Target.
Ugh. I want to
Physical store.
Like, so here's the thing. I don't want to go buy... unless it's a like my last resort. I don't want to buy video games, especially video game hardware, where I have to go speak to a human being, because the first question is going to be, "Do you want the extended service on this?" No, I don't, because I'm not 5. I'm not going to break my 3DS.
I get that for every game that I buy. Do you want
do
scratch?
too.
You want scratch warranty? Every time my response is the same. No, I'm an adult.
Yeah, I know you have to ask that, and I'm sorry that your job requires that you ask that. No. No. No.
Do you want your? Is there anything you want to pre-order? Do you have a power-up card? I want to destroy you.
Yeah.
Stop talking.
Can I borrow a lighter so I can light this place on fire?
Actually, I've been meaning to look into it. Apparently, the Gamers card for Best Buy is a really good deal.
Oh, I got Gamers Rewards unlocked.
Yeah.
In my Elite Plus membership.
Oh, Elite Plus. Is that next to Platinum Minus?
Yeah, whatever. It's Elite, well, Plus, and then Elite Plus. I get like 25% more points.
Nice.
Get him, get her. Anyway, but yeah, like you walk in there and you're like, oh, like I came in and I bought a very specific item. I came here to buy that. Let me do that and leave.
Yeah.
Yep.
I just don't want, like, the thing is, so like, okay. So here's the thing. We have a Whole Foods equivalent store here. It's called Jimbo's.
Oh.
And we went
That's
to,
the name I was expecting.
yeah, I know.
I was expecting like Earth Fair or Welcome to Gaia Groceries.
Yeah, something. So we went up to the counter to go get sandwiches, and they make sandwiches, and I now have to eat gluten-free, so now I have to go to places where they don't have like gluten and wheat and stuff. And
Papaya King.
It makes me feel like a monster. So we go up, and my wife orders a sandwich that has avocado in it, and he goes, "We don't have avocados." She's like, "Oh, okay, that's fine." And he goes, "We don't have any in the store. Is that okay?" She's like, "Well, yeah, what am I going to do? Like, you don't have to be a..."
No, get in the bus, go to Mexico, and pick me a ripe one.
Yeah, like, you don't have to be, like, and he's just, like, being this snippy jerk and, like, won't look at us. And I'm like, it's the same thing with Best Buy. Put a little sign on there that says, "Hey, do you want to protect your game?" Or in the game area, "Hey, do you want to protect your game? It's a couple bucks." And don't bother me about it.
We need to get badges that we put on. We go into any box store. Do not talk to me. I'm here to buy a specific item.
Yeah, I'm here to buy video games. Leave me alone.
Like at this point, it'll be like a sandwich board with all this shit I don't want to talk to you about.
Yeah. Now we gotta censor that out of the episode. Knobs.
Oh. How long has it been? It's been a long time.
It's been a couple years.
Yeah.
It's a good one. I'm gonna have to dig out that bleep noise again. I don't even know where I put it.
You should dig out the death clock bleep noise. Do like the clunk on the guitar.
That's true. All right, and last tweet for this week from Adderblack39 writes in, "Do you think developers are struggling to create that must-have game this generation, a game that is truly groundbreaking and unique?" Yes. Look at the order. So. I mean, I think the order is the exact thing, because that game should have taken the PS4 by storm, and it should be one of those games where it's getting 10s out of 10s, and everybody's saying, "Oh, you got to get a PS4 and the order bundle because you want that one anyway."
They're not just struggling to make it, they're struggling to envision what that game even looks like anymore, because it clearly isn't the order. Well, it clearly isn't this big budget, huge graphics thing anymore.
And that's what I was going to say is, like, they went out and they made what would have succeeded on Generation 6 and 7, which is a $60 amazing-looking single-player game. And everybody went, I'm okay. Yeah. And they're just like, well, what? Why? And they're like, well, there's no replay value, there's no multiplayer, there's no co-op campaign, there's no all this stuff. And they're like, okay. And it's sort of like, I'm not entirely, I don't have a crystal ball, so I'm not gonna come in and say, like, well, every game needs to have all of these things, and then you're gonna be, because I'd be in a different line of work, probably making a lot more money. But when you look at Shadows of Mordor, that was a game that's touted as the first next-generation game for these platforms because it did something different with the power. The Nemesis system is something that we haven't seen before, and they came out and they're like, well, we could only do this on these platforms, and then, sorry, we can't put it on the PS3 and 360 version.
Yeah.
Like, that to me is something where you can hold this up and you can show it to people and say, like, look, we haven't seen this before.
Well, I mean, it's a lot of it is like you look back through like back 16-bit days. It was side scrollers and shoot 'em ups. Like it was just like dual stick shooters and whatever.
Well, and the big thing was it's the arcade experience exactly in your home. Like that was the biggest thing. Like, is this the exact same game as came out in the arcade?
Right, and then it moves into we have 2 generations of that shenanigans, which they started getting to more like. Transparencies and making them look a lot better.
Yeah.
And then you go to the Xbox and PlayStation 2 era, where shooters started becoming more prevalent, and then lightly getting into, third-person shooters. They haven't quite figured out those quite yet until the 360 PS3 era, where that stuff was just everywhere.
Yeah. And
shooters eventually got better, and then where's this next round going? We don't know what's going to be this generation's thing.
Yeah,
because I think last generation was significantly third-person games were where it was,
and first-person shooters with RPG systems.
Yes,
and like what's Gen? I think you bring up a good point. What is Gen 8 going to be? Is it going to be action platformers with slight puzzle elements? I don't know.
I'm hoping it's the Talos principle, because that'd be awesome.
Yeah, is it going to be the Talos principle for, like, Square Enix is coming out with they're coming out with a Talos clone now, finally. Ugh.
Yeah.
Oh, E3 was just all Talos clones.
I want to start calling first-person shooters Doom clones again.
Perfect. Halo killers.
I just want to. The whole clone thing it drives me nuts.
It's always ever since Doom. It's always been so like, oh, this is a Doom clone. It's just like, oh.
Because you automatically conjures up that image of what that game is, whether it is or it's not. Like that was the same thing with God of War that drove me insane.
Yeah. Oh, it's a third-person action adventure game. Oh, it's a God of War clone.
It's God of War clone. Like, no, it's Ninja Gaiden, dude. Come on.
Yeah. Oh,
it's Castlevania
clone. Yeah.
Or people will sit there and argue about the Metroidvania thing, saying, "Oh, no, it's Super Metroid."
Yeah.
It's Super Metroid.
Yeah. Whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I am a sucker and I'm an eternal optimist. I'm excited to see what this generation thing is going to be.
I don't know.
It's open world games maybe again. Who knows?
I don't know. I mean, it could be expansive worlds. I would be more excited about. Like, I'm tired of being stuck on an island. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Every game's an island.
Can I say what I hope it isn't?
Sure. Sports games.
No, I really hope it, because there seems to. So I was going through the Steam curation and their
queue and all that.
Their queue and stuff, and I swear every third game in those queues is, we've got a really cool crafting system, and you can build whatever you want.
And it's open world and multiplayer with zombies.
That's not a game.
Yeah.
That is a game creation kit.
Well, and also what's really funny is, seemingly randomly recently, there's just games that are Minecraft.
Yeah.
I'm people might think that I'm exaggerating. There's a game coming out, I think, for the Vita that is Minecraft, except you play as a Viking. That's the only difference.
You might have me on that one, but
that's true. You are a Vita Viking, but
it's a Vita Vikings. Okay,
SOE was so surprised when H1N1 came out, or H1Z1. Sorry, when that came out, and people were like, okay. And they were like, yeah, but it's a multiplayer game with zombies in it. And they're like, yeah, I know. Steam is full of those. What do you want?
Yeah. Have you heard of
cares?
Rust?
Yeah. Have you heard about the 3 that are on Greenlight right now? Yeah. It's another one of those, shut up, I don't care.
Yeah, it sort of is.
Yeah.
But I feel like with the younger generation coming up on Minecraft, the next generation is going to be defined by how in depth your crafting system is.
Sure.
And I don't care.
Well, and I think
it's going to kill us. It's going to kill us.
I think it's not even anything for us to be scared about, because they just haven't. Imagine Borderlands 3 comes out, and then you can use parts like loadout. You can use parts of different guns to craft your guns in the game. Great.
Way to make me eat my words.
But
awesome.
But then see, like, all you need to do is you just need to have the game that fits for us for that stuff. Like, I play a lot of JRPGs, and we've been doing this stuff for like 15 years.
That's true.
So like Minecraft coming out, and they're like, you can put all this stuff together and you make a sword, and it's like, great. I was doing that in 16-bit. Like,
Did you breed chocobos?
Yeah. Oh, I've been there, man.
I can check out my beak hild. Like,
yeah. And so, like, I think, I think there's certainly nothing for us to be afraid about, but it just needs to be, how do we take that wrapper and sort of seal it around a game or a genre that we already love, like Borderlands. You bring up Borderlands 3, and I can make my own guns loadout style. Great. Goodbye to 500 hours.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. And that's not even gameplay. That's just making guns.
All right.
And I'm just making guns for those levels. Every level, you're probably going to sink in 20 hours messing around with the guns.
Totally.
Oh, God, can you imagine if they do that with Destiny?
Yeah.
We're going to die.
Yeah, I'll be a dead husk alone in my house.
Well, you'll have the sweetest exotics.
I will. It'll be great.
What would excite you right now?
With something that has a crafting system, you mean?
Well, no, just like what would excite you to play right now? Because right now, like for me, everything seems so rote.
Yeah, I think to me the stuff that I'm getting excited about is stuff like Shadows of Mordor, where it's something different, where it's sort of like you have this persistence. You have, okay, it's an open world game, and we've played tons of those before, but there's this persistence. There's the what is that term where it's emergent gameplay? There's always been this emergent gameplay where it's I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing, but to me the Nemesis system was really okay. Look at this stuff where we have an open world game. You're taking Batman and you're taking Assassin's Creed and pushing them together, but then you have this other thing on top of it where you have something else going on, and for a lot of people that might be fairly thin, but it's something.
That whole conquering that system made that game far more enjoyable than I think it would have been on its own.
Yeah,
yeah, 100%.
And that's something that I really look forward to. But then I look at myself like, I'm really excited to play the next Crackdown game, even though I've already played it twice.
Right.
Like, and that's where I'm frustrated as a gamer. Like, what's really out there that, like, in a game like Wolfenstein, surprised me that I enjoyed it that much.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the only thing that's really exciting me is if I can jump into this world and experience it, that's it.
The thing that would really excite me about games is for us to stop worrying about frame rate and stop worrying about resolution and worry more about frame rate.
Yes.
I have a computer that is hooked up to my TV in the form of PS4 and Xbox One. They're incredibly powerful. Let's get some 60 frames in here. Or at least let's start locking 30 frames. How's that sound?
Yeah.
Right.
I can get behind that. I find frame rate to be far more impactful to my visual, not enjoyment of a game. I don't really care about frame rate as long as it's like steady.
Yeah.
But if you can lock something down at 60 and it's silky smooth the whole way through, that just adds just this touch to this game that you almost can't define.
Well, and it's like people are saying like, oh, well, we can only get up to 30 frames if we go to 1080p. I don't think the majority of people care. Like at the end of the day, I really don't think people do. Genuinely.
No. Mm-hmm. I mean, then you could say it was an artistic choice. Whatever.
Yeah.
Like, we're beyond, like, we haven't worried about what games really looked like in 2 generations.
Right.
Because we're always going to be surprised on how a game looks because you've never seen it before.
Well, and also Our other option is the Order and the Evil Within, which have these giant black bars where the HUD doesn't even exist in them because they're not using the pipeline to draw anything there.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, what are you getting there?
It's cinematic.
And that's going to be the term that kills this generation. Cinematic gaming.
Yeah, and then you know what they're going to call it then? They're going to call it filmic, which I heard this week and I almost threw up. Yeah.
All right, that wins for the worst term I've heard in like years.
I thought Trictionary was bad, but man, filmic is just garbage.
Trictionary's 90s bad. It's like an acceptable level of bad.
That's like wink and a nod bad.
Yeah.
No, that wouldn't even been acceptable in Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's, I kind of liken this generation to the race for smartphones, where people always complain that, smartphones are getting better, but batteries aren't. Right, because as batteries get bigger, you put a bigger screen, you put a bigger camera, you put more wireless, and there's stuff in it that keeps the battery age at that same level.
Yeah.
For 8th gen for consoles, there has to be something where we break out of the cycle of, here's a new Gears of War, here's a new Assassin's Creed, here's a new but what are you doing with the power? Vita, the Vita as an interface to the PS4 is not going to be a thing that happens. No. Other than people using it for purely remote play. That's fine. Can we use Smart Glass for something better? Can we use the PlayStation app for something better? Can we use these connected devices for a console that is presumably requires to be always on? I know it doesn't, but for the majority of people, everything has multiplayer, everything is digital, and you have to be online. What else can we use with that capability?
Well, those are the things. Even go back to Battlefield, the commander system through the commander app is amazingly fun.
Yeah,
you're sitting there, you're throwing out orders, giving perks, throwing supplies, dropping cruise missiles.
Yeah,
and it's just something you could be sitting on a train on your phone playing, helping out someone in Battlefield.
Yeah,
throwing drones out. Why isn't things more integrated with that? Everyone's got a screen in their lap at some point.
Well, and the thing to me too is if this generation really wants to define itself, and I want nobody to misunderstand, I am in no way saying that this is easy. This is one of the hardest things that console manufacturers are going to have to do. Get streaming right.
Yes.
If you want to win, Microsoft can do original Xbox and Xbox 360 streaming. Just start dumping games on a streaming platform, and Sony needs to do PS1, 2, and 3. And if you want to get really crazy, charge for PS4, because in the instance of the Order, I'm sure, Hannah, you would be more than happy to pay, let's say, $10 to stream the Order for 24 hours.
Absolutely.
And you'd make money. But though I'm going to throw myself out on a limb here and say the reason why that hasn't happened is because it's hard as hell.
Yes, it is. It's not an easy thing to do. They've been working on it for how long have OnLive and Gaikai been around?
It's about 6-7 years now.
Yeah, at least. And they probably working on the technology before that. So, I'm sure all of us know that PS1, 2, and 3 streaming is virtually free money. Yeah. It's not free, but it's fairly low risk money if you have a solid data center. Mm-hmm. I'm sure Sony would love to say, "Hey, you want to play every PS1 game? Great, we have them now." But I'm sure that hasn't happened because there's a good reason. Companies want money, so.
Could you imagine? How many awesome rare games that we never had an opportunity to even buy that we could get at?
Oh, exactly. Yeah. So, I don't know. 8th gen is really interesting. I think 7th gen, as much as we had stars in our eyes for the potential of it, it was still a transitional between 6th gen and 8th gen.
Oh, absolutely.
Where 8th gen, if you look at NPD Group released a report a couple weeks ago saying that we hit the first year of these platforms, and in that year, comparing to the first year of the PS3 and the 360, 60% more consoles were sold for 8th gen over 7th gen.
Which is crazy.
So games are still doing really, really well. And
wait. The transition was 60%?
Yep. Well, no,
the people that
number
upgrade.
the number of consoles that sold in the first year of the 7th gen and the first year of 8th gen. On 8th gen, there are 60% more consoles. So, like, if first year on 7th gen was 1 million, 8th gen was 1.6 million. So, like, games as an industry has just exploded. So, what are we gonna do with it? That's exciting because we have the numbers.
Exciting.
The consoles are being sold. The consoles are being purchased. So, what are we gonna do?
We're gonna play some sweet games. I'm not concerned about a genre that defines this generation. I'm not concerned about a type of game that defines this generation. I think what's going to define this generation is the stuff surrounding all that. I think it's going to be, live streaming games. Everybody's got their own Twitch channel now.
Well, look at what Knob said. Knob doesn't understand how Twitch works, but he's live streaming games.
But he's still doing it. It's amazing.
That's exactly where technology should be, because technology should be easy enough so you can click a button in a console and the world can watch you play a video game.
What's even worse is you could say it and it works.
Even better.
That's bananas.
They can watch you play a video game and see you and chat with each other.
Yeah.
That's magic.
Yeah.
Like, there's the famous quote of any technology sufficiently advanced is indiscernible from magic. Twitch on consoles is magic. Like,
yeah, it
this
really
is crazy. Man, video games.
Yep.
It's a great time to be alive.
It really is.
And have semi-disposable income.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or just poor impulse control.
A combination of the two.
I know nothing about that.
Yeah, as Knobs holds up his Surface Pro 3.
Even Coop's judging your spending habits.
Yeah, but man, that tablet's super cool.
Oh, dude, my Ultrabook killer?
Oh, your iPad killer? Whoa!
Oh, hey!
Kill you with an iPad.
There you go.
Ding. You could if you didn't bend it.
Hello.
No, sorry, it's an iPhone, the boomerang, whatever.
Tech slams. All right, well, that's all of it for this episode this week. Thank you very much, everyone, for writing in. If you'd like to visit us, you can do so at tvgp.tv. Email us, tvgpfans@gmail.com. Tweet us at tvgp. And everything else is on the right-hand side of the page. And
if you hit me, coins do not spill out. But please, come join the forums. Don't forget to mark yourselves on the map. Join us for our plethora of game nights. Mm-hmm. That is Monday night's BF4 and Friday night recap. That's usually after hours, so 10 bells normally.
BF4 After Dark.
That's right. And everything is after dark on that.
Yes.
Hey,
I wish I could stream it. I wish I could get the party chat involved on it because it would be something special.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Thursday night is theme game night. Wednesday night is
PS4 game night.
PS4 game night, and I don't know why.
Tuesdays, I think we're still shooting for Destiny on Tuesdays.
Yeah.
Destiny
Hannah
Tuesdays.
and I will invite some peeps in. Play
Indeed.
some stuff.
And apparently I should write this down in the order they come in the week, but whatever.
Who knows? Keep them on their toes.
It's really order of importance.
what's going on with... Well, I take the first and last week's, the best days.
Oh.
The bookends.
I take the capstones.
Indeed.
And what about Game Club?
Game Club, if you want your game voted on for this next Game Club, or rather, to be more semantically correct, a chance for your game to be voted on for this Game Club.
You too could be a winner.
You too could be a winner. Post your suggestion in the forums by, let's call it 5 p.m. Central tomorrow is when I'm going to probably make that the new voting thread. Yeah, I know, buddy, I know.
And winners don't do drugs.
Winners don't do drugs. So I want to make one quick announcement. We are going to shuffle the list and pick randomly the top 3 games from that shuffled list. I've put the code that does that out on GitHub, so if you have any problems with the way that it's being done, rewrite it yourself.
Yeah, fix it yourself. GitHub.
Yep.
All right, and don't forget you can watch this show live, twitch.tv/E1M1 Network. You can watch The Hannah, twitch.tv/The Hannah, and find Knobs at jknob33 on Twitch. Catch it live because it's not sticking around.
Yep.
And don't forget to watch our YouTube channel. Just search for TVGP or however you find usernames. It's That Video Game Podcast because someone else took TVGP, and I will find you.
What?
Yeah.
For what?
And we'll see you all next week.
Laters.
Peace.
What did we lose?
I got to get this dog out of this room.
No, somebody else took TVGP as a YouTube username, like When did the show start? 7 years ago? Like, someone already had it.
Is it that Spanish kid? That singer or whatever?
Let's go.
I do not know what you're talking about.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
you never... Oh, Google it. It's... There's some... I swear to God, it's... Or maybe Ecuadorian. I don't know. But...
Or
I remember...
maybe he's Ecuadorian.
All right. Do we need titles now that I have the Cooper out of the room and he's not chewing on my hand?
When giving your child an English name goes wrong.
All right.
Okay. Anywho, yeah, let's do titles.
All right. Why are you licking my hands? Dude, what? Christmas DOA, Fight Like a Gentleman, Catch It Live, Ebonics Dollar,
No.
How Do They Eat?
No.
Upside Down Liquid Diet, Downright Glib, my lap is covered in technology, Incision Insert Salt, Jaw Meats, Step Out of This, I didn't finish that one. I stopped writing halfway through that title, apparently.
Because Jaw Meats is amazing.
They do pyramids real good. Nope, giant spiders killed me. Dilating juice in your face. I don't even know where that one came from. Mario GPU 2012. This show is free to play, and it makes me feel like a monster.
I wrote Downright Glib and Jaw Meats. Jaw Meats is all one word, by the way.
And I've got Jay-Z's titles right here. Apparently I was not signed into anything.
How dare you.
Monday Night Handlick Night, Stupid Amounts of Distance, Non-Ninja Characters, DOA LR Bills, y'all, Snapjawed Keith David, Hard Cheese Shortage, Techno Lap, Mandible Kit Pickups, Brute Buddies, Assault Rifle, as in a salt rifle, Grim Factango,
That's pretty good alliteration, but...
Hannah's Wheelhouse of Weird Stuff, A Peppery Taste of Immortality, Dilation Juice, Tip in the Star Fantastic, FTP is a 4-letter word? What?
F2P.
F2P.
Yeah.
FTP is a whole different thing.
Yeah, that's also a 4-letter word, by the way.
That is,
if you work in
yeah,
IT.
nowadays. Bioshock Infreenet. Jesus.
I'm drowning in puns.
Why don't you pay for it? Hot console stuff. Telltale's The Left 4 Dead. Shut Up, I Don't Care. Indie Games versus Metal Fans. House of Monkeys. Threatening the Order. Thrown Out Drones. The Screen in Your Lap. Companies Want Money. And The Ultrabook Killer.
I feel like the new tagline for this show is "Shut up, I don't care."
Shut up, I don't care. Yeah, I like that.
I didn't write down any additional ones. Any ones that you guys thought really...
What are the two?
I like Downright Glib. I just like how it sounds.
Downright Glib is pretty good. I'm a big fan of Assault Rifle just because it's super punny.
Yeah. It hurts. It's salt in my face. Alright, I'm going to circle Downright Glib.
Alright.
That's like how that sounds. So good.
Because I was
borderline depressed.
It was a miserable experience.
Man.
Too bad you didn't catch it live.
Yeah. It's gone forever. Just sign up for a YouTube account. My God.
Is that how it works?
Just go. So
I think I have a YouTube account.
So we'll go through a little tutorial here of how I do for this show. So what you want to do is after you stream, maybe like 15 or 20 minutes after, go to the bathroom, take a quick breather, grab a sandwich, go to Twitch, highlight your last broadcast because otherwise it'll just snip it at some weird point. Yeah. And then once you make that highlight, export that to YouTube. There's just a button in Twitch to do that. And then it just
real easy.
It just goes to YouTube.
Easy. Yeah.
Well, now that I have a nice piece of technology, I can do that with.
Look at that. Good times. All right, starting in 3, 2, 1. This is That Video Game Podcast. I don't know what that was. That was in my throat.
Easy hack.
Water.
How's your Starbucks water tasted now?
It's just normal water. It's tap water.
From the tap?
From the tap. All right, take 2. 3, 2, 1. This is That Video Game Podcast, episode 384 from March 2nd, 2015. Downright Glib.
Oh, bother.
And I died again.
I wrote down 2014 by accident. All right, we're done. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching. Mucho apreciado. I know,
Indeed.
German. See you next week.